After Boris Johnson took himself out of the Tory leadership contest last night, Penny Mordaunt credited him this morning in a tweet for putting country before party and party before self. She also said he worked to secure the mandate and the majority we now enjoy. So that's paying him credit. She then went on to say, we should put it to good use, and I know he will work with us to do so, which is sort of being seen as a kind of come to me, Boris supporters.
Exactly. Well, as it stands, Rishi Sunak is obviously the firm favourite. He's miles ahead to become our next Prime Minister. But Penny Mordaunt shows that, as yet, she's not giving up without a fight, and she wants to position herself as the candidate that can unite the party. Well, one Conservative MP who thinks she can do just that, he still thinks that this morning, is Bob Seely. He's the MP for the Isle of Wight, and he joins us now. Well, Mr Seely, with huge respect, I mean, isn't it time for a reality check here? I mean, Mr Sunak is so far ahead. There's no prospect, is there, of your favourite catching him? Shouldn't she throw the towel in?
Good morning to you. Good morning to all your viewers. Look, we've got a few hours left until 2 o'clock, and we're confident that we're going to make the poll. So let's wait and see. But the position is exactly the same as it was before, that me and many others think that Penny is the best person to lead the party because she has the best mix of personal qualities and ministerial experience to unite our party and, most importantly, lead the nation.
If she did get to 100...
Sorry,
carry on,
no, you carry on, please.
Well, if she did get to 100 votes and it went to the vote, but Mr Sunak's still won overall, would she put it to the membership or would she stand down?
I don't know. We'll have to ask her at 2 o'clock this afternoon when we find out what's going to happen in the next stage. What we absolutely agree that we all need to do is once this competition or once this contest is over, we need to come together because we badly need an outbreak of unity in the party. And whoever wins, we need to get behind that leader. If that leader had been Boris, if it's Rishi, or if it's Penny, I just happen to think the best unity candidate amongst all the candidates is still Penny.
Well, James cleverly has come out in support of Rishi Sunak, just as we've been chatting. So numbers are falling behind the person who's in pole position. But let's talk about Penny Mordaunt, shall we, as you want to. You say she's got experience. She says she's had 9 ministerial posts. She talks about her background, understanding, and the implication being that Rishi Sunak doesn't because of his financial, personal circumstances, understanding scraping together pennies and what people in the country feel. So she's made that clear. What she hasn't made clear, of course, is what she would do as Prime Minister. And this morning, we've been outside of Westminster. We've been in Barnsley talking to people and right across the country. A lot of people haven't even heard of her. So what is Penny Mordaunt and what sort of Prime Minister would she be? Put the case for her.
Penny has a great deal of ministerial experience. She's had 9 roles in 8 government departments, 3 of them at cabinet level. And her personal qualities are the sort of qualities that I think people would warm to. And the polling that we've seen is that people who know of all 3 candidates and who are aware of who they are overwhelmingly put Penny as the person they most relate to, that they would most trust, that they would seek to see as a unifying candidate, and that they would most want to as their friend. So if you look at the sort of polling that indicates politicians who have cut through, who have a relatability factor, who have a likability factor, Penny scores very highly on those.
Well, I also have to point out, though, that that same poll, which asked the same people, also found that a significant number, more than 20-odd%, hadn't even heard of her, and also still put Rishi Sunak as the potential leader, even though those points that you made were there in the polling as well. That's the problem. And you restated what I stated about her government positions and her personal qualities, but gave no detail about what her policies would be and what sort of Prime Minister and what direction she would take the country in, which is, after all, what we want to know about outside of the Tory party.
Again, really good question. And I think my answer is that we had a manifesto that we won an 80-seat majority on barely 3 years ago, and we need to be putting that manifesto in place.
Which I think bits Penny of it do you understand that Penny Mordaunt will be putting in place?
Sorry, there was a slight break-up in your question.
Which bits of the manifesto will she be putting in place?
Well, we're going to be delivering on our manifesto commitments that we made at the last election.
Highlight the
Clearly,
bits, sorry, to be specific, because people have been cherry-picking, haven't they? So what do you see her as bringing in?
when you say bringing in, are we talking...
Or reinforcing?
Look, we have a manifesto that we won the last election on, and we need to be delivering on that manifesto. Penny's statement yesterday, in addition to that manifesto, was to talk about important supply-side measures. These are the things that help free up the economy, that help generate economic growth that we need to pay for the good things in our lives, like public service, like health and education, as well as keeping more money in people's pockets. However, we need also to make sure that we reassure the markets and that we seek stability above all. So what she will be doing is to keep in place our manifesto that we won a very significant majority on. But clearly, since then, we've had COVID. We have the Ukrainian war. We have significant inflation, which is having a huge impact on energy prices and on cost of living. So we need to grip these. So we need stability. We need to be, as a party, we need to be united by one candidate who will bring us together, who will unite our party and who will lead our nation. We have a manifesto to commit on. There are going to be some changes, and we're hearing what those are going to be from Jeremy Hunt on the 31st of October, because clearly we need to make sure that we reassure people that we're moving in the right direction. Yep. But when it comes to policies, we have a manifesto commitment. We have manifesto commitments to deliver on, and we need to make sure that we unite behind a leader who can deliver on those.
You spoke with great confidence at the outset of this interview that you think that, that Ms Mordaunt is going to get to 100 by 2 o'clock. You seem very confident about that. Does that indicate that you've been taking soundings since 9 o'clock last night when Boris Johnson withdrew? Have you been told by Conservative MPs who were going to put their support behind Boris Johnson that they've switched it to Penny Mordaunt? Have you heard it? Has anyone told you that?
Yes, I mean, I made a few calls to colleagues last night and several were coming over. So there will be a move towards Penny. And there has been a move towards Penny because a number of Boris supporters had Penny as their number 2. If you're asking me what the numbers are as of this morning, I'm not in our whipping team, so I don't know. But what I do know for sure is that people are coming over. But you still can't confirm, and I'm surprised that you can't actually, because you must be very close to her in terms of swapping information. You still can't confirm that if she does get to 100, but then is soundly beaten in the final vote by Mr Sunak, you still can't confirm that she would then graciously give way and we'd have a coronation. No, because I'm not going to deal in hypotheticals. I'm still making the case for Penny because I think she'd make a great leader of our party and a great Prime Minister. And those are because she's got a great set of qualities and because she's highly competent and she's proved herself as a very, very competent minister and a very, very competent parliamentary performer and performer in the House of Commons and someone who has the ability to dominate the House of Commons. So I'm still making that positive case rather than dealing in hypotheticals, as important as they may be come 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Well, it'll be a surprise if she does it, but, you know, there have been a lot of surprises over the last few weeks, and I don't think anybody can make any predictions. So we'll have to wait till 2 o'clock. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, good to speak to you this morning. Thank you. That was Bob Seeley MP putting the case for Penny Mordaunt. And, of course, this conversation is only happening because Liz Truss stepped down as Prime Minister, lasting just 45 days. Her resignation brought with it shocking headlines around the world, embarrassment to many actually around the world. Other countries laughing in their news reports at the chaos of the politics here.